Hey there, welcome to CNT Collectibles. I am C. Hope you're doing well. Busy week. I apologize, not putting out a lot of stuff here. Real life sometimes, that's how it goes. But I always like to try and do something. So when in doubt, go with a mail day. So I always like these from other people. They put it out and you kind of see what they're buying. It's not even just the players, but the different cards. And, maybe it sparks a few ideas. So I don't do anything super crazy at all. But I'll show you what I have, and maybe it sparks an idea or two that is worth it. So hey, how about that? So, anyways, we'll just get started here with a player that I liked towards the end of last season. Got called up, had a really nice Olympics, and really nice debut with the where is he at? The Rays. so yeah, and so the Rays have a way of taking players and making them into something, and that's Mr. Shane Baz. He had a pretty nice start last year, an incredible strikeout rate. Walk rate was respectable, and he's just 22 years old, and it just looks like an elite type of guy. Now with pitchers, who the heck knows what happens, right? A lot of things could go wrong, and so his price is right. Very few of these are going to turn out to be great long-term holds or anything like that. But he pitched even better than his ERA. Now he had a 100% left on base percentage, so that's going to regress some. But I think this is one of the more overlooked. I don't know if it's overlooked or not. I haven't really paid attention. His card's actually going for a decent price, but he's not in the base set at all. But he does have an autograph in the 87 throwback series here. So, again, this is a player that just looks like he can pitch. He's 22 years old. I'm willing to take a shot on it, and we'll see what happens. And that's Mr. Shane Baz. And so there's the Bowman, the purple paper out of whatever that is, the blue refractor, I think 150. And then the only way to get him in the top set this year is the on-card autograph. Hey, those retro throwbacks, people are looking for autographs that aren't on stickers or anything like that. I mean, there's some great options out of there. Maybe we'll talk about some of them. So another player that I liked last year, again, coming up, this is a player I just had in my dynasty league, and so I kind of followed him, and it turned out. So again, I think 22, maybe just turned 23, and there's the big Dylan Carlson, and he showed that he can play. So any 22-year-old that shows he's competent in the majors, it's like, well, that's got to catch some eyeballs there. And I think he's being it wasn't the greatest season ever or anything like that, but it was more than competent. And so he's gonna get to stay in his spot in the outfield, and the Cardinals could maybe do a little something here. So I love the green atomic refractors in those Topps chrome black. This is the short print. I love the image variations. It's like there's only so many times you can really buy the same picture with a different border on it before you're just like, all right, mix it up a little bit. So that's the short print. And then just to get something a little bit numbered is the one of the new waves. I kind of like the wave cards. I'm cool with that or whatever. But again, his stuff is not terribly expensive by any stretch here. So it seems like a decent time to speculate on Mr. Carlson, who's shown some level of confidence. Another player that's shown a lot of competence lately is Yordan Alvarez. I didn't have the regular refractor. I didn't have the sepia either. And I didn't have a sapphire. So his raw stuff is still pretty... I'm not going to say it's cheap, right? Cheap is relative. It's compared to everybody else. So it's probably fair if you look at him, Lou Bob, and Bo Bichette to an extent. I mean, these guys are all 24 years old and change. Bo Bichette just turned 24. Yordan and Lou Bob are well into their age 24 year, so they'll turn 25 at some point during the season. So they're all priced similarly. Bo Bichette just a touch higher, I think, with the age factor. But I'm not gonna say cheaper. They're inexpensive. So if this goes south, then it's not gonna hurt at all. But Yordan is a bat. We all know what he can do here. Strikeout rate's a touch high, but when he hits the ball, he hits it really hard and really well, and could be a top 10 bat this year is kind of what I'm thinking. Another player that's been really consistent, Ozzy Alvarez, one of my favorites. I always like to collect him. So the silver pack green, got a purple, and then the foil boards. These were the hobby complete set only. So those are out of like $199 or something like that. So I always like the way that those kind of shine. Those always have a fun sheen to them or whatever, and they're somewhat limited. So again, I like the image, much like image variations. Sometimes a different sparkle is always a good thing as well. So Ozzy Albies, he's been all-star level player, came up early and started doing it, so he's on a really nice track. So we'll see if Major League Baseball is able to get their butt in gear here and get him back on the field. This is a player that, absent a couple of 6-7 win seasons, which he's probably capable of, but he'll have to do it soon. You'll have to keep chugging out 5-win seasons over the next decade, and that's a tall order there. So, but again, I think those second tier guys are at least attractively priced, and it's like doesn't hurt to speculate a little bit. Since we're in the Star Wars room, here, I'll pull this back just a little bit. You had to get the Ozzy Calrissian bobblehead. So I love the Star Wars Night bobbleheads that they have. I mean, right? Let's put two of my favorite things together here. So I thought that was a pretty fun pick up there. So, of course, mint in box. I'm not going to open it for you guys here, but it is what it is. All right, another player that I like that. So we have kind of our top 5. It's pretty clear in the outfield, whether or not you think Tatis is playing full time in the outfield. So, Soto and Acuna, Harper, Betts, whatever, but it's unlikely that whatever the top 5 is, it's unlikely to finish the season that way. And I think this guy sneaks in here. So player that I just never had the regular refractor. I don't know why. I've got like the negative and X fractor and all these other weird variations, and I never had the regular one. It's like, oh, what the heck? So there was a seller that had it on for cheap enough, and I didn't have a black either. So those are a little bit more limited overall, but I do like Kyle Tucker. Again, he's not overlooked. It seems like. I mean, his where he's being drafted and his prices and all that kind of stuff. I did kind of an overvalued, not undervalued or overvalued, but as the market's sleeping on some of these guys here, and so it's like, no, he's being drafted kind of where his projections are. So, he'll have to do something pretty special to really get his prices going. And I think he can this year. Guy hits 330 home runs, can steal some bases. Solidly has that job for the last couple of years. I think there's a real possibility again that he sneaks into that top 5 of outfielders overall. So better finish off what I want quickly here. Always nice, speculation is fun, but sometimes just get the damn Hall of Famer. So Joey Votto probably in, and here's a yellow rookie card. I'm not sure what the variation is on that other than it's yellow, and it was cheap, so it's like, well, why not? All right, player that terrific season last year. His prices, like everything, have come off for the most part. So it's like, all right, well, what the heck? These are the Bowman Inceptions, which get no love. I think they're really, really cool cards, and they're on card autographs. So, I picked up a few of his things. Didn't have an autograph. This looked like a pretty easy entry into one of his autographs, and happy to have Trey Turner on card. There you go. All right, bunch of Minnesota stuff here, so apologize. I collect trying to get a nice Joe Mauer from every year, and decided, all right, in addition to that, I want an X Fractor from every year as well. So I was able to pick up the 2007, got the 2011. So someday we'll get a nice shot with all those together here. So I don't think I have or have you really even seen a 2009, but it can't be that hard to find. So I'll just keep looking for it, whatever. So there's the 2013, that's the blue. 2014 in the blue. And it's fun to collect players, especially after the rookie year, because it's all nice and cheap. Even some of their autographs, that one was pretty cheap as well. I'll probably give it to the boys. That's his Topps Tribute or whatever. But then I always like these, the Prestige. There's a couple different versions of it. I have the other one, so this is the Topps Prestige or something like that. So I mean, they are numbered whatever to 2000, but I think they're just I think they're really, really beautiful cards, and they're pretty cheap entertainment overall for Mr. Mauer. So we keep plugging along on the Mauer run here, and we'll see how that goes. A couple other Twins autographs. So again, people, if you're looking for on-card autographs, man, there's some really, really nice options out there, and you can get Hall of Famers for crying out loud for pretty cheap entertainment. So Ken Turbeck, not a Hall of Famer, but Twins Hall of Famer, but Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, not so much here. But Mr. Tony Oliva did get in. So these are the Topps, the All-Star Rookie Cup set. They're like $50 to get an on-card autograph and 10 cards, and they're beautiful. Wish I would have got more of this set, but I mean, these are great. These are great cards, and so the checklist is really, really cool. You have Carew, Oliva, Jim Rice, bunch of these. I mean, just a bunch of all-time names, and you can get them for I don't know. Seems cheap enough, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, on-card autographs. There you go. There's one of the great options along with Tom's Chrome-Rack. All right. My redemption came in for Akil Baddoo, Stadium Club Chrome. There it is. All right. Technically, it came in the mail, so it counts. All right. Here was some Minnesota hockey here. So, Kirill Kaprizov, dude's lighting it up. He's amazing. He could be good for a long time. Played in the KHL for a couple of years, so I think people have the well, he came up too late or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I guess so. But these are pretty cheap entertainment. These are the metal, but they're the blue retail pack, and so they're not numbered at all. You can still get those. I mean, these are going for like $20 or something like that. So, raw. There's always condition issues with them, so we'll see. If I don't know where they're at right now. That was just a couple weeks ago, but it's like, all right, that's a really, really cool card. Should get a Kaprizov's Young Guns is quite a bit more expensive than that. So it's like, all right, well, for now we'll just go with that one. And then some of the throwback guys here. So some of the guys that I enjoyed watching while I was growing up. Mike Modano, that's his what is his OPG or something like that. And here's his upper deck. So Carlos, I'm only like 2,300 behind you, man. Objects in the mirror. So I hadn't had any. Well, I didn't have a whole lot of North Star stuff except for the stuff I had as a kid. It's like, oh, these are pretty cheap entertainment. So in the PSA 10, it's like $70 or whatever. I found this in a GMA. it was $10. And those cases, I should do a tutorial on how to crack them. If you just pull on it and bend it just ever so slightly, it just falls apart. So it's like, okay. But I mean, honestly, even with GMA, it's like they've been around for a while. They're not gonna be the worst graders. I mean, for a legit grading company, yeah, whatever. They're pretty easily dismissed. But it's like, their nines can't be all messed up. They have to be somewhat serious about it. So it's like that looks like I'm sure that's a pretty decent raw card there, and it looks great. So a couple of Modanos. My favorite player growing up was Bobby Smith. This was the number one pick in the late 70s, and so I have a few of his cards. I never had his rookie because this was a little bit before my time. But again, just a card that what the heck, for $4 or $5. It's like, why wouldn't I? That's a card that a player I always enjoyed watching growing up, along with former number one pick Brian Bellows. Used to caddy for him he was a member at our club. And those guys are, just hockey guys are the most down to earth. There's a bunch of hockey guys out there. It's Minnesota, right? They're so down to earth. I mean, they're like they're the nicest people. They're very genuine, and they knew how to have fun as well. So they'll be walking over a bridge, and there'll be cars coming down. And you're like, hey, let's see who can spit on one first. It's like 13-year-old me was loving that. It's like, oh, this is awesome. Just really, really fun guys, terrific guys. So. Here's the U.S. Hockey Hall of Famer Neil Broughton, not the U.S. Hall of Famer or anything like that, but he was part of the Miracle on Ice team, although you wouldn't know it from the movie. They kind of cut out all the Minnesota guys on that one, but yeah, he was there. Big part of that team. What a handsome dude, right? He and Modano, the Slayers. So Dino Ciccarelli, Hall of Famer Dino Ciccarelli. So he had a few issues off the ice, but that was the reason for his delay. Most people think, for getting into the Hall, but he eventually did make it, and it was always fun to watch North Star's Blackhawks back in the day. They'd have the Dino doll from the Flintstones hanging from the rafters. They just hated each other, and that always made it a super fun experience. So there's Dino. And to protect all those pretty faces, of course, you have to get your enforcer. And this is Mr. Willie Plett in his Atlanta Flames uni a few years before he came over from Minnesota. But when he did, get the dog hair off of there. Unavoidable in this house, I suppose. Here, no shine on it, just vintage goodness. But yeah, no, when he came over, I mean, just it was always so much fun because we'd fight the Blackhawks all the time, and Willie Plett, Harold Snepps, those would be the guys right in the middle of it, just mixing it up, and those were good times. Those were good times. So, all right, there's my mail day. I owe you a personal finance chat. I'm working on it, and all that other stuff. So we'll try and find some time for other things. But hey, hopefully this holds over. Appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.